What's up, guys? I got the keys here back with another video. So, today we're going to talk about this silent shift that you're probably going through or you've experienced multiple times. So, I think most of us know that the best parts of our growth typically happen alone in isolation, right? Um, most of it is completely invisible to the people on the outside, right? And the world is completely obsessed with public progress, showboating, showing off the new car, showing off the progress you've made, which nothing wrong with taking pride in your accomplishments, right? But um there's a fine line to that where, it's all about the current thing that's happening. Um and people don't often talk about their hardships or the stuff that they had to face on the way up. Um Now some of them do, don't get me wrong, right? But um the thing is most spiritual updates happen in isolation. Most of them happen when you're in the darkness by yourself and you have to sit alone with your thoughts and your feelings and how things are right now in the moment, right? And most people don't want to do this. And this is why they don't ever change. Um so, you know, the all of the quiet discipline, the mental decluttering, changing your mind, reprogramming, and really changing yourself internally, right? Um, because what we don't understand about the spiritual warfare is that it's not outside of us. It's not like, demons and angels out here trying to stop us. No, it's internal, right? This is the internal battle of the polarities. It's not even that it's evil and good, right? Um, it's simply just a balance of dark and light, So um you know real growth doesn't like shout with a megaphone, right? It's not super loud, right? You're not over here boasting about everything. You just simply are living it, and then people notice, right? It's a long process, right? But in the end it's all worth it, because if you didn't experience those things, right, you wouldn't be where you are. And um there's this quiet commitment instead to showing up every day and changing your mind internally to reflect the outer world, right? And I understand that, things take time. So, we all know that the outer world is a delay of the inner world, right? So it doesn't always happen overnight. Now, your mind already may be changed. You may have already accepted the new version of yourself, but reality has to catch up, okay? It doesn't just happen um, in the physical world. And, the second part of this is, detaching from any outcomes, because we all want it to be a certain way at a certain time on a certain day. And, um, we want it to happen right now. And we want the immediate validation and, the success and all that, right? Um, but, like, you don't need people to celebrate you in order to create what you want to create. You simply do it, and because you've done it, people will naturally attract to you based on you being authentic, right? Um, so true power is when your effort is 100% um, intentional. So when you have a heartfelt intention of, I'm going to create this because I want to help somebody, right? That's your intention. Okay. So putting your intention into something is the best thing you can do, no matter what it is, even when you're making food, right? Or you're going to the gym, you're putting your intention, hey, I'm doing this because I want to love my body and I want my body to look good, right? I want to feel good. I made this food with the intention of nourishing my body and making me healthier, right? I'm eating whole foods, stuff that gives me real nutrition, not just eating goldfish every day, you know? So, um, your inner peace isn't dependent on how the crowd reacts to you. It's your choice to be at peace no matter what happens or how it happens or when it happens. And I need to hear this myself sometimes because, I create all these videos and sometimes it feels like it's doing nothing, right? Um, but in the end, I truly know that, what I'm doing is for a purpose, regardless of what my mind has to tell me. Okay. Um, so another part of this is going back to foods and stuff, right? What you consume is a huge part to play in how your life works. Now, this comes down to music, this comes down to movies, this comes down to food, everything that you take in a day, right? All of these things, um, if you're constantly listening to, uh, like half of Hollywood stuff, and I'm not here to shame you or anything. I like some of the Hollywood people, but um, ultimately there's a lot of um, low frequency stuff, right? And I'm not here to judge it or whatever, right? But um, and I'm not even saying not to listen to it. It's just be aware, right? Um, whatever you're putting in your consciousness is going to reflect back. So how we eat is another big thing, and I know that not everybody can afford to, eat fully organic or whatever. But there's ways around that, right? So, hidden Aldi's or the grocery outlet, there's places that sell organic stuff cheap. And it doesn't need to be, you just make small changes one at a time, it doesn't need to be all overnight, like, and you don't need to listen to everybody on the internet either, because that's another thing is there's going to be people that tell you one thing's good and then one thing's bad, and then the next person will tell you the complete opposite. So you need to learn what works for you, right? Um, and maybe talk to a nutritionist or something, right? Somebody that truly has studied the food, right? Or whatever. Personally, I just go with whatever I feel. And if I learn something, through somebody else, I'll try it out and see how I feel. Um, but, ultimately cutting out junk foods, stuff like that. And it doesn't mean all of it, right? You can still have a snack here once in a while, but it's, mostly healthy, right? Um, so, movies too, if we're watching scary movies or whatever, we're putting that into our consciousness. Now, again, there is an alternate side to this, right? It's if you can enjoy the movie, great. I'm not telling you not to watch a scary movie, but I'm saying, if you're thinking about these things, you're going to have dreams about them. It's going to project in real life. It may not be the physical, thing like some scary demon or something, but it could manifest as some kind of hardship or something or whatever. Um, So, we can't manifest a high level life if we're feeding into super low level distractions. Um, and again, this takes time. It doesn't just, it's not like a switch and it just happens. Okay. You're going to learn things and certain things work for you and certain things don't. Okay. Um, Now, here's the other part of this is that there's strength in your shadow. I've made videos about this before. You must face all of you. Okay. Not just the light. We must also face the darkness, the things that you're not willing to look at. So, um, when you're facing the pressure, or, you're having doubts or worries or fears about things, when you're in a dark season of, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, trust that it is for a reason. I know it sucks sometimes. I know. I trust me, I've been there, and I'm sure, I'm going to experience my own things again, right? Um, but ultimately, these are the times when your character is completely forging, right? If I didn't go through that shit that I went through, I would not be here speaking to you. Okay? Um, if you would have ever told me that I'm going to be in front of a camera talking to people, telling them about God, I would laugh at you. I would straight up laugh at you. Um, because I didn't believe in God until I experienced it. Um, Now, ultimately, it's funny enough, I actually believed in it before experiencing it, because I'm not going to tell anybody to do, drugs. But for me, doing psychedelics and stuff really opened my mind to the fact that there's a God, right? Um, Now, again, I'm not telling you to go do them. I'm just saying this is what my journey was. I was just looking up at the sky one day, and I'm just like, and I think I was on LSD, if I'm not mistaken. But I was just looking up the sky, and I'm just thinking, like, this is all so beautiful. There's no way there isn't a God. And then I had this spark that just kind of came through me, right? And it's just like, God's been with me the whole time, within me. Um, and ultimately, I had moments where I had to close my eyes, and I saw, visions of myself being in these future, in, the places that I am now, right? Um, and it is truly amazing, like, what you can experience through, um, any kind of mystical experience. It doesn't have to be through a psychedelic, right? It could be through meditation or breath work, or even just random, right? These things just come up. And I'm not saying to chase spiritual experiences either. They simply just happen. Okay. Um, but, faith isn't pretending that everything is perfect. Okay. It's having the sight to see the path forged through the thickest fogs, right? Through the darkest times of your life, you know that there's something better on the other side. And that's going to be the most important part. So, I actually do one-on-ones if you're looking to face that side, maybe, right? Um, all you need to do is go into my description, send me an email of your name and a little description of what you're going through, and we'll get something set up, okay? I will see you guys in the next video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.